Yo, what's good, everybody? I'm back with my third video in the IGL Masterclass series. Today I'm going to be covering Leviatan. This team is jam-packed with talent. I really think Aspas is probably the best player in the world, but they all have really, really good mechanics across the board. It's definitely a team that has improved a lot through the split. Actually, they've been pretty consistent, and they ran into some difficulties here against G2. They're going to be facing up against GenG and Shanghai. GenG is a really tough opponent. But I think if anybody has a chance for an upset, I think Leviatan is in a good position to do so just because of the level of mechanics that all of their players have. Anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be highlighting kiNgg, the way that he IGLs. And he's known as one of the better mechanical IGLs and is definitely one of the strongest fraggers on the team. And that's rare. That's something that you don't always see at the IGL position. So definitely want to highlight his ability to call and put his team in position to win games. So I chose their matchup against KRU on Sunset. I covered Split, and then I also covered Lotus with G2 and 100 Thieves. So I want to do a different map for you guys. So let's just get into it. We'll start with the pistol again. It'll be the same format as always. Pistol, anti-eco, and then we'll kind of just go with 3 rounds that I really, really like. And yeah, let's just get into it. We'll talk about the util. We'll talk about the decisions that are made, whether they're logical, whether they're not, and then we'll talk about what kind of call is being made. Okay. Before I get started, let's just highlight the comps real quick. Mirror comps on both sides: Cypher, Breach, Gecko, Raze, Omen. This is a very kind of like execute heavy comp that can just kind of contact pop places. It's an attack sided comp, but defense is pretty solid as well, being able to like stun for A main, but also reactive stun on like market B splits. Offers up a lot of trap play potential with like the Breach Cypher Cam combos, along with the double flash with Gecko and Breach, or Omen, and either of those two. I like this comp a lot, and it's probably something that I would run if I was coaching a team. Anyways, let's get into this pistol here. Start of round, I really like the approach from both teams. This A main fight is very important, so lots of teams will go for this dizzy flash with then a breach stun combo if you're running the breach. If you can shut people down in this A main space, generally you can rotate one person off. You can get somebody on this deep line. You can play more for mid and play more to rotate and assist either site properly. So in this moment, we see that both breaches trade stuns, and you'll see now that LEV do something really nice, but also KRU do something really nice. So we see full cut of noise here, counter one ways on both sides here. Right? kiNgg. Oh no, excuse me. Let me double check this. So yeah, so kiNgg goes ahead and smokes one way on the lane side of A, and then Melser goes ahead and smokes one way in A main. So this is standard A main control for them. This is not really to speed up or go fast or anything. This is to secure the orb, secure space here, and then reset. Okay. After this, Leviatan decide to just walk up contact and walk up through elbow, and they get some kills here. Now, really good spacing from them, first of all, but I want to talk more so about the decision making here. Most teams, if they get, watch this. See how the Dizzy shoots three players here? Most teams would cancel and reset in this situation. But because Leviatan, they understand that they have control of the left side here with the breach done in the smoke. They understand that they can kind of recontact into this and take the fights. I think this is a good gamble by them. There's good element of surprise. They do run into heavy resistance here on elbow, but they end up beating the timing here with Aspas getting the first blood. I think this is just good togetherness, good understanding of the call. I think this is a pre-round call, by the way, by kiNgg. But then the mid-rounding that comes through is off of this Gecko flash. So the Gecko flash pings 3. He decides, doesn't matter, we're going to stick with the original plan. I think it's a good plan. And really just they highlight I want to highlight the togetherness and the trades that they get in elbow. They have really good mechanics on this team. It suits their strengths. Good round overall. Okay, let's go to the next round. This is round 2 now, anti-eco. I always want to see how teams are playing anti-ecos. There is a little bit of variance but for the most part, there's a lot of variance in the buys, but also there's variance in the way that they approach these rounds. But generally, you'll see some type of pack mentality going on just because you have the advantage with the guns and whatnot and the utility. So it makes sense to stay together and avoid taking 50-50s. Let's watch the round. Let's talk about it. See what happens. Okay. Instant flash here for the B cross, deciding not to do the Cypher Cam in B window, which is very common in the meta. And then they go up and they Roomba B main. Okay. You didn't see it here, but there was an early Cypher Cam at B to grab info. Okay, so Cypher knows that there's at least 1 to 2 people over at A. The breach has not stunned yet on the side of KRU, so breach has not revealed his location, which means that Leviatan need to be a little bit more passive with their control. Okay, so what do? They take control of B main, they tap the orb, they're baiting out fights, grabbing the orb on Gecko, which is probably what you want to be doing in most cases on most maps where you're playing Gecko, unless your Raze player had an insane pistol round and they got like a 3K and planted bomb or something like that. So grabbing orb on Gecko makes a lot of sense. They pressure B main here, take some fights. And I want you to take a look at what kiNgg does here, okay? kiNgg has a ghost, light armor ghost, and so what he's going to be doing here is something that was really, really common in CS back in the day, which is scouting out the other extremity, scouting out the other side of the map. Now he's doing this for info, and then based off this info, he's going to mid-round and call for his team. So we've got early B main pressure here with a 3x, right? So a three agent pack. We've got Cypher in mid holding passively with early cam info towards A, and then now kiNgg is going to go scout out A here to see what happens. This is a good low-risk way to make sure that you're not going into a heavily contested stack. That is really, really important when you're playing against the breach Raze, especially if they still have their nade and their breach stun, okay? And Omen blind potentially. So I want you guys to take a look at kiNgg. They're holding here for reclear. Why are they holding for reclear over at B? They showed presence here. They understand the win condition is in their favor. They know that KRU need to make a play to win this round. Or KRU they need Leviatan to go into a stack for them to win the round, okay? So they're holding for reclear, waiting for the other team to take a risk and make a mistake. If that doesn't happen, they're going to end up regrouping towards A. So look at kiNgg here, taking all the space, and look what happens. Calls the entire team back because he realizes the other team is fully stacked. Great overall mid-rounding here. Low-risk approach to the round that puts them in a favorable spot. Getting the bomb down on Tex. Okay. Could have got a better plant here. Not really tripping, though. Let's see what happens. Another thing here that I really, really like is the awareness to make sure that Tex is now the tip of the spear in this post plant. He's not really fighting at this moment. Let's see if he goes and fights. Oh, no, he leaves. So he prioritizes his gun. But if KRU decided that they were going to retake, right, he would have been the first person in the mix. He would have been fighting. He likely would have gotten a kill or two. He at the very least would have died, and they would have been two ult orbs off of his ult for the bonus, which is what you always want to do when you're playing Gecko. Gecko or Raze are really the big agents. Okay, good approach to anti-eco. I really like the patience, and the way that he's sacrificed his life to sniff out the stack to gain really good info for his team to avoid the risk of losing that anti-eco, which can be super detrimental in a really close game. All right, round 3, guys. This is the bonus round for Leviatan. Let's see how they approach it. Oh, did I not start from the beginning? Let's take a peek. Let's talk about the util here. Okay, we got a cam in mid. Okay, Gecko flash. They wait out the initial Gecko flash from Heat, which is nice. Then they go for a refight here. Okay, they get 2 pings. They instantly get stunned, and they fall back. Okay? Look at what this does to the side of KRU crew. They have 4 people stacked towards A. They're playing more of a retake B setup, okay? So they show that they're going to go over towards A with numbers on the side of Leviatan, and then instantly regroup to re-clear mid. Good job by crew here to get in position to fight this mid, potentially fight this top mid fight. Good rotations by crew overall. Let's see what happens. I think door not being closed here is a little bit of a mistake, in my opinion. Okay, we want early info that this is coming. But regardless of that fact, Melzer is held onto the line here at A. Doesn't really matter. Lev doesn't know that. What I like what I like about this round is that kiNgg shows presence to one side, instant regroups to give his team a good chance to win this round. Okay, I think they do win this round. Let's take a look and see what happens. Nade comes through behind map. Smoke this off. Aspas doing Aspas things. Sending the wingman in. Okay. Now this is what I really, really like about this round. The way that they can stack 4 people in market, close the door behind themselves, and then still have a ton of utility to play in post. Okay. They're still going to have, let's see, what do they have? I guess they don't have a ton of utility. They have a gecko, they have a mosh pit, and they have a breach stun. But these are both really good pieces of util in post plant, especially the breach stun. Being able to fight and swing with the breach stun when people are exposed here in these areas trying to get to the spike can really set you in a good spot. Okay, and look, he gets his breach stun back, and now he's sitting here with his breach stun out on contact. Okay. I really like the fact that they held onto the market space here instead of taking all the site space. Good counter stun here. Good counter util. Good kill. Really good kills by Lev. And just good control here in post really won them the round. Sending the wingman in with low risk. Good misdirect, early misdirect with numbers, causing the rotations. Pivoting into a mid B, holding onto the market space with the ability to play the spike from main as well with Cypher. Door is closed. Just a really, really good round. Nothing crazy though. Okay, next round. Okay, this is a round where they just go for a B hit. Any ults in play here. One off Aspas's ult. They've got the Shark here, or the Thrash on the side of crew. Let's see what happens. Smoke top mid. B main control like they've been doing. Baiting out the fight here. Grabbing ult on Aspas. Okay. Sometimes, guys, as IGL, it's really important for you guys to realize this. The simplest play is oftentimes the best. Okay, this is what I yap about this all the time, about like reading the information and trying to understand what's logical. This is what's important. They're one off the ult here. They know that if they can secure this orb, they have a good chance of winning this round. Okay, they look at the money over on the side of KRU and they see, okay, if we win this round, they're likely going to have to save. So really it's 2 rounds for 1 here. All right. So being able to recognize Aspas as one off his orb, this is really common shit. This is what people are doing at the tier 3 level. It's nothing crazy. But you're calling to your win condition, right? You're calling into your win condition. If you have let's say you have a 50% chance of winning the round at the start of the round without the Raze Ult. Now that you've gained the Raze Ult, you have a 60% chance. You should always try to grab the Raze Ult. Whether you do it at A or at B is totally up to you. Now I'll ask you this: why did they decide to go A with it or B with it? It's because every single round so far, crew has been fighting for this A main space with the Gecko Flash, the Omen Smoke, and the Breach Stun. B main has always been uncontested for the most part, so they decide to gamble and head over to B. Another thing is that Raze's rocket on B is super, super strong. Okay, so let's see what happens here. They nade to bait out the cage, right? Really good. So no one-way cage now. And they know they know that they can go at their own pace. They've baited out the one-way cage. Really the strength of their hit is what? The Raze Ult, right? The Raze Ult is the key to the hit. So let's see what happens. They get naded off. They're not tripping. Doesn't matter. They're just waiting here. Now I want you to notice one thing here. The pathing. And now Aspas doesn't get a kill here, even though I think it's a little criminal. He almost kills both of these guys. Okay? Good smoke here on to give him cover while he's going across the boba angle and then getting into market. Okay? Loses the market space. Good triple swing. Good fundamental triple swing here. And then great individual mechanics out of kiNgg. Okay? Now, I like this decision by kiNgg to stay in. He's got a majority of the members of his team leaving site. He still has a TP technically, but I like the fact that he's just like, he doesn't want to play a 5-man retake from B main. Even though on this map, the macro supports being able to play post plant from B main, doesn't really make sense to do it against a Breach, Gecko, Raze, right? We still have Gecko Molly. Breachstone is probably coming back online. They still have Omen Blind. There's a world where Raze would have had nade. You know what I mean? So it's not the most comfortable thing to play post plant from this area. He decides to stay out and fight a little bit more and gets 2 kills for it. And these are the mechanics I was talking about earlier, guys. This guy is a really, really good aimer. I think he's one of the best mechanically in VCT Americas. And it's well known amongst like the tier 1 players that he is a beast. Okay, great round. Great round overall. I like the fact especially that they just keep it simple, play to their win condition by grabbing the orb on Aspas. I really like the pathing of the ult. I think it has good kill potential here in Boba. But I also like the fact that if Aspas wasn't pushed out of this, he would have held onto this space. So they're prioritizing control of market, but also holding on to B main space in the post. If you think about the space that affords them in post plant and how annoying it is for the people getting on spike to deal with a crossfire from market and from B main, even if they're getting smoked out, it makes a ton of sense, guys. Okay. Was that the round? That was the round. Okay. Last round here. I really like this round a lot. It shows that they're aware of the enemy ults and how they should approach some of these rounds, okay? Let's take a look at the ult economy here. We got 1 off breach for Mizzino. Breach ult for Mizzino. We've got Texas ult. Aspas' ult is not even in play. We've got Omen ult and we've got Cypher ult. Okay, we're really not going to call the round around the Cypher ult or the Omen ult in most cases. On some maps you might, but not so much on Sunset. There are a couple ult plays that you can run, but the main thing here that I'm worried about is the enemy Raze ult. Okay, and so where has Raze been playing a majority of these rounds? He's been over at A. Okay, so what do they do to start the round? Let's see. First things first, number 1 thing that they do is passive start to the round. They don't show any util outside of the KMB main, right? That's number 1. They don't want Kesnet to rotate into where they're defaulting. They don't want to give him a signal of where he should ult or where he shouldn't ult, right? They want him to be using this ult reactively in the moment based off of a read that he has, not one that they give him, okay? Start of the round, no util. And what do? Smoke top mid, contact. They've smoked top mid plenty of rounds this half. No util going into mid. Just full contact across the board. And what do? They send the Omen blind top mid. Aspas not getting this kill is pretty criminal, right? He should be getting this 99 times out of 100. Regardless of the fact, I like the fact that they're getting scrappy top mid. This is the first time they've done this. They've been in the extremities in B main and A main every other round. On a round where the enemy has rocket, I think it's a reasonable gamble to think that Raze is not going to be top mid, okay? Now, Raze happens to be top mid, but he's not in position to pop his ult in time to react to this Omen blind, okay? This is also a really good call because it signals, it's really a B split, right? With B main, market, and CT spawn. to Boba, right? So I really like this strat. I've seen other teams run something similar. I think EG ran one. And maybe this is just a strat that's being recycled in scrims. I'm not too sure. But I like this. I like this round a lot. I think it has good potential to avoid the Raze Ult, simply avoiding A, but then also not being grouped up in the extremities. Okay. I also think there's another small thing that I want to mention. At the start of the round here, on the side of KRU, they decide to aggress into B main with this deep omen blind and deep one way. Okay. Now there's a possibility that this is just a reactionary call by kiNgg to say, you know what, instead of doing a B split, let's B split through top mid. They understand that they've lost B main control here with this omen blind and this one way. So maybe a traditional B split is not the play anymore. Maybe we need to take a little bit more space. Okay. And so they decide to go top mid. I like that as well as a potential mid round call. Impossible to really know without seeing a comms video. And what do? Okay, they get here, get scrappy, top mid, go for this fight. Aspas kills Kesnet. Really good job. And then the GOAT just does GOAT things. Gets great kills here. Takes the timing into spawn. Gets another kill. Aspas just doing Aspas things. But I really, really, really like this call. I think this is probably my favorite call out of all of them. I do like the fact that it feels like when the ults are in their favor, they decide to go with the more simple route and just go with whatever makes sense in the round. If they feel like they have the advantage with the ults, they will use the ults. They'll use them quickly in the round, right? And on rounds where they don't have the ult advantage, they understand that there are certain areas that maybe they want to avoid. I like that a lot as well. I also like the fact that they're calling for early control of, like, they understand the macro of the map with the breach comp and how fighting for A main makes a ton of sense on defense. They weren't afraid of that. They showed the ability to take control of A main, or at least bait out utility to really understand the setup, right? A lot of times if you just completely avoid the breach defensive setup at A, you don't really know where it is. So you need to bait out the stun early if you want any chance of doing market splits, because the breach stun from top mid into market can be one of the most detrimental pieces of util when it comes to hitting this site with a B split. Okay, so that's pretty much going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the last couple of IGL Mastermind series. I hope you guys like this type of content. I'm going to be going into doing the EU teams next, so Fnatic, Heretics, and Foot, and I'll be reviewing those, and hopefully I'll be able to get to Pacific and the Chinese teams as well. I think that'll be most interesting for me because I'm not traditionally watching those teams play too much. I already consume enough Valorant content. I can't be staying up past midnight doing it. At least not while I'm not actively coaching. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the showing some love in my Twitch chat. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.